Hey YouTube, I'm back with another video. I decided to make this video because I'm actually changing the differential fluid in my truck. Sorry, UPS is going by, but I have an LX470. This procedure is going to be the same as a Landcruiser, and it's for the 100 series. So anything from 98 to 2007. But this will probably work for any all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive vehicle. So what I'm going to be doing today is going over how to change the front differential fluid, and I'll briefly go over the transfer case and the rear differential fluid as well. The reason I'm going over this is because I didn't see any real write-up online, and the front is a little more difficult than the transfer case, and it's a lot more difficult than the rear. So, a few things you'll need. First is going to be this pump, and I got this from Amazon. This is a pump that you could just put inside your screw to the top here. It's going to be a tube that goes down, and you could just pump it, and the fluid goes right on up into the differential fluid. You're going to need a 12mm socket to take off the skid plate. Gonna need gaskets. They're all the same. They're the same for the front differential, the transfer case, and the rear. This is the, let's see if you can see the part number or something on there. I'll just leave this here for a moment and go and take a look at that. But yeah, I just got these from the dealer. They sell them on Amazon, but I didn't take any chances because the dealer is right down the street. But if you are up for that challenge, I'll leave a link to the gaskets on Amazon. And I also have a torque wrench. You're going to need that as well because you don't want to over tighten anything. Now, if all your stuff is factory, you're going to also need a 24mm socket. The reason I haven't done the front yet is because once I got to it, I realized that whoever owned the truck before me changed them out to, I don't know whether it's Torx or a hex top. So I just went to Home Depot and got two different sets. So we'll see once we get under there. Now, you're gonna need some gloves. I always highly recommend gloves when you're unscrewing anything underneath the truck, because I cut my hands up a bunch of times, and latex glove for when you're actually handling the fluid. Differential fluid smells really bad. So, you know, you might want to consider these gloves and maybe even a mask. As for fluid, I'm going with Mobil 1 Synthetic 75W90. Now, before I get into it, I just wanted to say, like I said, I've already done the rear. I did them all on different days. I did the rear and noticed how the truck drove a whole lot smoother. Did the transfer case, it was even smoother and quieter after that. And now I'm going to do the front, which hopefully, you know, it'll be super duper smooth and even quieter. So apparently the previous owner, while it seems they kept the truck up pretty well as far as changing the fluids, they just didn't use you know, premium brand oils or anything like that. So with that said, let me just briefly go over the rear end. Hey, how you doing, man? The rear end procedure. Hopefully, all right, let that focus. So that right there is your fill plug. And you have your drain plug there. Now, it's all kind of wet like that because I sprayed it with WD-40 before I got to it. It actually seems to be a little seepage there, so I'm going to actually tighten that up a little bit more. But anyway, this is the fill plug. Always loosen that first. So you just want to take your drain pan, your catch can, and that's another thing, you need a catch pan. You're going to take your catch pan, put it underneath here, and then you're going to unscrew the fill plug, just so you make sure it's not seized or anything. Then you're going to completely take that one off. and let it drain out, then take this out and it'll drain a lot faster. Of course, it's recommended that you drive the truck first so that the fluid can be nice and warm. The reason you do that is because warm fluid flows faster, so you'll get a cleaner flush doing that. Once it finishes draining out, you just plug up, screw back in the drain plug, and then you just pour it in here until it starts to come out, and then tighten it up, and then you're all done. It's not hard at all. Now that's the easiest one. Let's get to the transfer case. Now, you probably noticed that I'm under the truck and I didn't jack it up or anything. That's because I just raised it. If you have an Lexus or you just have the AHC system, I just raised it. It was enough clearance for me. Here's the transfer case. It's in the middle of the car, near the transmission. That is the fill plug, and the drain plug is right here. Now what you want to do is you want to take off this skid plate. So what you want to do, there are 3 12mm bolts there. You see 1, 2, 3. Let me try to point to it. You see, you got 1, 2, 3. What you want to do is loosen this one up first. Don't take it out, just loosen it up pretty good. Not a whole lot, but just a little bit. Take this off, take that off, and then you could just rotate this thing out of the way. That way you don't have to worry about trying to hold it up and put it back up. Just do that so you can rotate it out of the way. Same procedure, take this off first, make sure it can loosen up. Once you see that it can, then you take that off, you take that off. Now, if you're gonna take this off first, fair warning, fluid's gonna fly out of this thing, especially if it's warm. So just have your pan under here ready to catch the fluid from here and there. Hopefully it's big enough. If not, then just go ahead and just loosen that up and then let it drain out of the drain plug for a bit, and then you can take that completely off. Change the gaskets and put it back on. Now for the front. I always like to use cardboard. So now under the front we're going to take the differential is going to be in between the tires, so we need to take this off, that screw off. There's some more. Let's see, where are they? That one, and the same for the driver's side. And I will pick the video back up once we do that. Alright, so we got that plate off, and it's just like fiberglass or something. It's not metal, so it shouldn't be that hard to put back on considering how flexible it is. So here it is. It's like right there in front of your face. Let me try to focus this. Alright, yeah, so wait, I'm zoomed in. Okay. Yeah, so there it is. That's the drain plug, and that up there is the fill plug. So as you can see, someone changed it out, and that is actually a HW10 for my Husky hex set. So I saw one that was just, I think, just a regular single HW10 without the set. It was like $1 and some change. So I'm gonna go back and get that, but right now I'm gonna use what I have. So I'm gonna go ahead and loosen that up, and then put my catch pan there. Well, I'm gonna put my pan there first and then loosen that up and go ahead and let the fluid drain out. Alright, as you can see, it's draining now. I mean, this fluid was fresh. They probably just changed it before I bought the truck. It's like a golden honey. I mean, it looks brand new. But I know it's not synthetic, so and this here is the drain plug, and this is the magnet. It just had a little bit of residue on it. Just wipe that off, clean that off. Surprisingly, that was actually the harder plug to get off. So now we're just gonna prepare everything to fill back up, and we'll be done. All right, now it's finished draining, and we put you can't see it, but we put the drain plug back on, and I cleaned the drain plug off. And I just wanted to show you kind of what you want to see. You don't want to see, they're going to be very finely ground up pieces of metal, and there are no large chunks. Just something that once you wipe it off, it looks like this. Just, I mean, super fine. That is normal. That's what you want to see. And now we're going to take this pump, and what we're going to do is we're going to take this little straw that it came with, stick it in there, and then we're going to screw the whole, take this off, screw the pump into there, and then proceed to just pump the fluid on into the differential. We're going to do that until it leaks out. Another thing I wanted to cover, as far as the amounts go, I mean, check your manual just so you know how much to purchase, but when it comes to filling up, it's pretty much dummy proof. You just fill it up until it spills out. And as far as torque settings for the screws here, the manual for mine recommends, I think, 32 foot-pounds of torque, and that's about what I did, about 32, maybe 35, and I just did that to give it a little extra snug, but don't over tighten it, especially for the transfer case, because it's an aluminum case and you can crack it. Okay, so we already pumped one bottle. We're about to finish off. When you want to just, set it still, make sure you take the tube and put it through the handle so it doesn't leak out. And we want to go ahead before we finish off and it starts leaking out is to prepare our fill plug. And we need to get the washer off first. So let's see if I can do this on camera. Might be blurry, sorry about that, but we just want to take that old washer off and put the new one on. Now I will say that these aftermarket hex plugs are fantastic. They were way better than the factory ones, because the factory ones, all my crush washers got stuck and it took a while to get them off. And that right there, I mean, that was simple. So we wanted to prepare this, and I have my cardboard down there. I'm going to slide it up because it's going to leak out, and yeah, we're going to be finished. Okay, so now that we have buttoned everything back up on, well, as far as the drains go, you see that, and that as well, still dripping a little bit, which leads me to the next thing we want to do. We want to take it on a test drive to make sure there are no leaks. So what you want to do is take a towel and wipe around really good. Wipe around these drain and fill holes really good. After you've tightened everything down to the appropriate spec. And also be sure to double check your washers, because that one, as I was going to put it on quickly before it all spilled out, it all won't spill out before too much spills out, I noticed the washer fell off, so I had to go back and do it again, and that's the reason why I had the extra spillage. So you want to wipe it all down, and then you want to take it for a test drive. You don't want to button everything back up and put the what is that thing called? The guard back on, because we need to check for leaks. So let's take it for a quick ride. So I took the truck on a test drive and everything was perfect. There were no leaks. The car drove fantastic. But I go on for about another 10 minutes about the difference the synthetic oil made. And I feel like it's worth the watch. But if you just want the DIY, you can stop here. Everything was good. We're all done. But man, oh my goodness. The difference the synthetic oil made is tremendous. So if you want to hear about that, I'll link the follow-up video to this, because it's about 10 minutes long of me going on about the differences and what I've used before and just the difference the ride made. But if you don't want to hear that, you can stop here. Thanks for watching.